a 12-3 win earlier today. Jack Lang at 157. You just saw Cade Wilson drop a tough one to Parker of Princeton to even out our score at 10-10 apiece. That brings us to 184, where Bryce Rogers earlier today, wrestling up. He didn't make weight at 174. And so he's wrestling at 184, came away with a pinfall, taking on Travis Stefanik. Stefanik, the sophomore from Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
Get out of there. Get out of there, Bryce. That's where he wants to be. That's where he wants to be.
Qualified for the national championships as an at-large. Went to the EIWA semifinals, did Stefanik a year ago. Second team All-Ivy a year ago. He went 4-1 in the Ivy.
Your match, Bryce. Your match.
This year, Stefanik wrestled yesterday for the first time. Came away with a 16-6 major decision win, but after rising as high as 19th nationally as of December 29th, he been out injured for a better part of the last couple of weeks. Very quick on his feet. Is the second team All-Ivy competitor from a year ago. He gets Stefanik getting credit for a takedown of Bryce Rogers. Again, Rogers with a pinfall earlier today. Did the junior out of Orlando. A 10-10 dual meet score. And we've heard from Jimmy Pawelski. We've heard from Jack Bakina, both of whom came away with wins earlier today. Talking a lot about the trust in the process, which, you hear that a lot from wrestlers about trusting conditioning and technique, as well as hard work to maintain things like weight and everything in between. It's a season that is a grind and, starts back in early November. It doesn't end until the national championships are held this year in Minneapolis the weekend of March 19th. You think about that. The season essentially starts. You travel to your first matches on Halloween, and it ends after St. Patrick's Day. That gives you a sense as to how very long the season could be. Here we've got a 2-1 match. Rogers with the escape point. The 2-point takedown from Stefanik. Rogers still trying to leverage himself up. They come belly to belly. Still no control. And bridging up, Rogers able to avoid the pin. But right at the end of the period, it went from a 2-1 decision to a 6-1 score following the near fall point right at the end, a very quick near fall. So Rogers is going to take top. 6-1 our score here at 184. I think your screen there might have given Rogers an extra 10 pounds, but we're at 184. Again, Princeton with the release and an escape for Stefanik makes it 7-1. Bears got to be cautious about the major decision. Here the match is 7-1. 10-10 team score. Bears with the 3 victories. Princeton getting things going with the win from Grant Cuomo with the pin of Kieran Shrikant. Stefanik. Rogers trying to get underneath. Rotating on his backside. And Rogers, they gave Stefanik credit for the takedown there. No dispute from the Brown bench, as it looked like Stefanik had just controlled. Now watch when Rogers turns behind Stefanik, not here, a couple seconds after. He ends up there, it's still neutral, but when he turns back the other way, right there is your takedown.
That's a good start, Bryce. Say it again. Good start.
A 9-1 lead. Stefanik really using the points at the end of the first period to really give him some momentum heading into this second. And Rogers escapes to close the score to 9-2. The riding time still under a minute, so it becomes important insofar as, 9-2. Now we still have the entire third period, but unless that riding time goes over the minute, you won't see the bonus point assigned to Stefanik. It's right now at about 50 seconds. Yeah, there it is, 184. Got a great team for you here today from the Pizzatola Sports Center. My name is Mike Rubin. And thanks for making us a part of your Saturday afternoon. Our score here, 10-10 for the teams, 9-2. Rogers has Stefanik underneath, running short on time. Another stall warning called. And released at neutral, measuring each other, probably waiting for the third, and that's in fact where we're at. So Stefanik with a 10-2 lead. Rogers on the bottom, Stefanik on the top because he wants the riding time point, no doubt. That was the decision. He took top. And he gets over the minute threshold, which will make life a little more difficult here on Rogers. He will escape. And now Rogers really needs a takedown. Stefanik could play this pretty defensively, not really deny Rogers measuring him up. And that would, again, the 7 plus the riding time point would make this a major decision. And you can see Stefanik going underneath. Rogers can get around, but Stefanik grabbing onto that right leg of Rogers. Now he has them both. Rogers trying to bridge his head up. He's on the shoulders, lifting his arm. Now Rogers avoiding the trip takedown. A great job by Rogers trying to get out of bounds. And, they're going to give credit for the takedown. Did not get out of bounds. And Stefanik adds 2 more points. And is well on his way to a major decision for the second day in a row here in Ivy competition. He beat Michael Doggett of Harvard yesterday, 16-6. And again, even with an escape here for Rogers, he's going to put Rogers in a position where he's going to have to try and take down Stefanik. And there's going to be a caution on Rogers. Moved too quickly. Referee Angel Rivera, conversation with Rogers, explaining, next time, you'd be looking at a point. Officials done a nice job. Did a nice job in the pen match earlier today. Probably the marquee match of the day is probably coming up next. The Patrick Brucky, Nino Bastianelli at 197. Bastianelli, very tough loss earlier today. A couple of moments seemed like he had Cole Urbis of Penn even pinned, but rallied all the way back from what was a 10-0 first period deficit, eventually losing 13-9. And about 15 seconds left here in the third. And Stefanik hanging on to Rogers, really not allowing him much of anything. That's a good take of the ankle there to make sure Rogers' belly button stays pinned to the mat. And a solid victory for Travis Stefanik. So 14-10, Princeton now with a team lead. Good match for Stefanik. So here's Nino Bastianelli taking on Patrick Brucky. 13-2